Anna Carter sat by the small classroom piano, her fingers resting on the worn ivory keys as the last student waved goodbye. The sound of laughter from the hallway faded, replaced by the quiet hum of fluorescent lights. Then her phone buzzed. It was her father. "Eleanor's had another heart attack," he said flatly. "She's stable, but they're moving her to hospice. Family meeting at the hospital in an hour." No greeting. No emotion. Just orders. Anna grabbed her bag, her heart racing. By the time she arrived, her parents and younger sister Megan were already gathered, whispering in a corner. Her father, Robert Carter, stood tall in his gray suit, arms folded like a man running a board meeting. Her mother, Linda, clutched her designer purse as though it could shield her from mortality. Megan, 4 years younger and always the favorite, scrolled through her phone without looking up. "Good you're here," Robert said the moment Anna entered. "We need to divide responsibilities. Not, how are you? Not, are you okay? Just business. Someone needs to visit Mother daily," he continued. "Linda and I have work. Megan's busy with Daniel's family." He paused, looking at Anna. "Your schedule's flexible. You'll handle it." Anna swallowed the sting that rose in her throat. She wanted to remind him that teaching music wasn't a hobby, that she managed 37 students a week. But she only nodded. "Of course," she said quietly. Her father turned away, satisfied. As Anna walked toward her grandmother's room, she heard her mother's voice drift down the hallway, meant for Megan. "At least she's useful for something." Anna froze for half a second, then kept walking. She'd learned long ago that showing pain only made them feel justified. She'd been invisible in her own family for so long that silence had become her armor. Her grandmother's room smelled of lavender and old books. "They try to make everything smell like antiseptic here," Grandma Eleanor said when Anna entered. "But I refuse. If I'm going to die, I'll die surrounded by things I love." Anna smiled, tears stinging her eyes. "You're not dying yet, Grandma." Eleanor chuckled. "Maybe not today. Sit, sweetheart." For the next hour they talked about music. About the days when Eleanor performed in New York and about Anna's students who played offbeat but with pure joy. Then Eleanor's tone softened. "Anna, the old piano, the Steinway, it's yours. I told your parents. It's meant for you." Anna's breath caught. The antique Steinway from 1892 wasn't just a piano. It was history, love, and legacy in one frame. She remembered learning her first scales on it, her grandmother's hands guiding hers. "Grandma, you don't have to." "I want to," Eleanor said firmly. "You're the only one who understands what it means." Her eyes, though tired, burned with conviction. "Promise me you'll take care of it." Anna nodded. "I promise." Eleanor smiled faintly. "There are things in life more valuable than money, Anna, and some people need to learn that lesson the hard way." 2 weeks later, rain tapped against Anna's windshield as she parked outside her grandmother's house. Eleanor had asked her to bring some old photographs, memories from her performance days. The key turned easily in the lock. Inside, the house felt strangely hollow. Anna moved through the familiar hallway, humming softly until her steps stopped cold at the living room door. The space where the Steinway had always stood was empty. Only a faint rectangular mark on the carpet remained, like the ghost of something sacred. Her breath caught. "No," she whispered, clutching her phone. She dialed her mother. "Mom, where's Grandma's piano?" A long pause followed, filled only by the soft hiss of rain. Then her mother's voice came, calm and dismissive. "Your father handled it. Adult matters, Anna. You don't need to worry." "Handled it? What does that mean?" "I said don't worry about it." The line went dead. Anna stood in the silence, the sound of thunder rumbling faintly outside. Her chest tightened. That piano wasn't just wood and strings. It was the last promise her grandmother had made to her. She stared at the empty space for what felt like hours, the air thick with betrayal. By evening, Anna was standing on her parents' porch, soaked from the rain, trembling with anger. Her father opened the door, a glass of whiskey in hand. "What's this about?" "The piano," she said. "What did you do with it?" His expression didn't change. "Sold it. Got $95,000 for it. Good price." Her voice faltered. "You sold Grandma's piano?" "She told me it was mine." He took a slow sip. "She's dying, Anna. She doesn't need a piano." Her mother appeared behind him, arms folded. And you don't need it either. You teach children, you don't perform. Megan needed that money for her future. Megan entered the hallway, twirling a set of shiny new keys. New car, she said, smiling like a cat. Mercedes. You like it? Anna stared, unable to breathe. You bought her a car, with Grandma's piano money? Her father shrugged. Megan needs to make a good impression on Daniel's family. That piano was never yours to sell. Anna's voice trembled with fury. Her mother stepped closer, eyes cold. Your grandmother's in hospice, half the time she's not even conscious. Don't upset her, Anna. If you tell her and something happens, that will be on you. Anna froze. You're saying I'd be responsible for killing her? Her mother's words hung like poison in the air. For a moment Anna couldn't speak. The old version of herself, the quiet, obedient daughter, wanted to walk away to avoid conflict. But something inside her cracked. Grandma has a right to know, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. And I won't lie to her. Her father frowned. You'll regret that. But Anna didn't answer. She turned and walked out into the rain, her heart pounding, her clothes drenched, but her resolve unshakable. For the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of disappointing them. She was afraid of losing herself. That night, Anna sat curled up on her small couch, unable to rest. The city outside was quiet, only the sound of rain on glass. She stared at an old photograph of her grandmother at her final concert, fingers floating above the keys. The memory stung. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. If you tell her and she dies, it'll be your fault. The words twisted in her chest like a knife. But then she remembered what Grandma once told her. Truth can hurt, but lies rot the soul. Anna wiped her tears and whispered, I won't stay silent anymore. By dawn she was at the hospice. The soft morning light filtered through pale curtains. Eleanor was awake, her gray hair neatly brushed, her eyes sharp despite the oxygen tubes. You look troubled, sweetheart, she said gently. Anna sat by the bed, holding her hand. Grandma, I have to tell you something, and it's going to hurt. Eleanor studied her face, calm and patient. Then tell me the truth, Anna. I can bear it. So she did. Every word. The sale, the car, her parents' lies, and the cruel warning her mother gave her. Eleanor listened silently, her eyes steady and unflinching. When Anna finished, she waited for tears, for anger, for shock. Instead, Eleanor exhaled slowly and said, I expected this. Anna blinked. You knew. I know my son, Eleanor replied. I've watched him chase money for 40 years. I hoped he'd grow wiser, but I also prepared for the day he wouldn't. Her tone was calm, almost peaceful. She reached for her bedside table. Hand me my phone, darling. Anna obeyed, her hands trembling. Eleanor scrolled through her contacts until she found one name, Harold Jennings. She pressed call and put it on speaker. Eleanor, a man's deep voice answered. How are you feeling? Dying, she said simply. But I'm clear-headed and it's time. I understand, he replied without hesitation. When? Sunday. Diane's birthday. At my house. There was a pause. I'll prepare the documents. Thank you, Harold. She ended the call and handed the phone back. Anna sat frozen. Grandma, who is Harold? Eleanor smiled faintly. My attorney. And your grandfather's oldest friend. He's been waiting for my signal for 5 years. Anna blinked. You've been planning something? Eleanor's eyes glistened. Planning justice. Eleanor leaned back against her pillows, her strength fading. Richard thinks he knows everything about my affairs, she said softly. That arrogance is his weakness. He assumes kindness means ignorance. Anna's mind spun. What's going to happen on Sunday? A reckoning, Eleanor whispered. Your parents will learn that what they thought they owned was only borrowed. She squeezed Anna's hand, weak but steady. Come to the party, dress nicely and don't interrupt. Just listen. You'll understand everything soon. Anna nodded, too stunned to speak. And Anna? Eleanor smiled. Bring your patience. You'll need it. 3 days later, Anna walked into a quiet law office filled with the smell of old leather and dust. Harold Jennings looked up from behind a large oak desk. He was in his late 60s, his silver hair neatly combed, his glasses perched low on his nose. Miss Carter, he said warmly, extending a hand. Your grandmother speaks very highly of you. She said you had something to explain, Anna replied. He gestured for her to sit. Yes. Your grandmother is an extraordinary woman, more strategic than most lawyers I know. She wanted you to understand what's about to unfold before Sunday. Harold opened a folder and slid a document across the desk. Do you know who owns the house your parents live in? He asked. They do, Anna said quickly. Grandma gave it to them when Grandpa died. Harold smiled slightly. That's what they believe. But the deed tells a different story. Anna scanned the paper. Her grandmother's name was still on it. No transfer, no signature from her father. She never gave it to them? Harold shook his head. She allowed them to live there rent-free, hoping they'd grow humble. Instead they grew entitled. Anna's heart pounded. Her father's empire was built on a lie. That night, Anna searched through the box of keepsakes her grandmother had given her years ago. Inside were concert programs, pressed flowers, and at the very bottom, a yellowed envelope with her name written in elegant script. For Anna, when you need to understand. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a copy of another legal document, something about a trust, and a note in her grandmother's handwriting. The house never left my hands, darling. It was borrowed. Some borrowers forget to return what isn't theirs. Anna pressed the letter to her chest, whispering, Sunday. It's all happening Sunday. The morning before the party, Eleanor called. Her voice was weak but steady. Are you ready for tomorrow, sweetheart? I think so, Anna said quietly. But Grandma, are you sure? It's Mom's birthday. Exactly why it must be tomorrow, Eleanor replied. Your father sold my piano in front of everyone, remember? He announced it like it was his to sell. Let him be corrected in front of everyone too. Anna swallowed hard. You're not doing this for revenge, are you? No, Eleanor said gently. Revenge fades. Truth endures. They need to face what they've become. Sunday arrived with soft winter sunlight brushing across Eleanor's grand old house. Balloons and a happy 60th birthday banner fluttered on the porch. Cars lined the street. Inside, guests filled the living room, relatives, neighbors, business associates. Anna stood near the door, heart pounding. Her father, charming as ever, greeted guests like royalty. Her mother glowed in a red dress, while Megan clung to Daniel, showing off her diamond bracelet. But Anna's eyes caught one familiar face in the corner. Harold Jennings, sitting quietly with a leather briefcase beside him. He met her gaze and nodded once. The storm was about to begin. The celebration buzzed with laughter and the clinking of glasses. Anna stood by the wall, unnoticed as usual, watching her parents bask in attention. Her father tapped his glass for silence. Before we cut the cake, he said proudly, I have some exciting family news. He motioned toward the window. Outside, in the driveway, sat a silver Mercedes with a red ribbon gleaming under the winter sun. A special gift for our daughter Megan, he declared. Guests applauded. Made possible by Grandma Eleanor's generosity. She sold her piano to support her granddaughter's future. Anna's stomach twisted. He was lying again, rewriting the truth. The crowd moved outside to admire the car. Megan squealed, posing for pictures beside it. Thank you, Daddy, she said, tossing her hair. Anna's aunt, Margaret, approached quietly. Anna, didn't Eleanor promise you that piano? Anna nodded, voice trembling. She did. And she never agreed to sell it. Margaret's eyes hardened. Then this isn't right. Before Anna could respond, her father called everyone back inside for speeches. The house filled again, buzzing with chatter. But under that noise there was tension, thick, invisible, and waiting to explode. Her father raised his glass again. To family and success. But before he could continue, Aunt Margaret spoke up, her tone sharp. Richard, I need to ask something. Did you ask Eleanor before selling her piano? The room went still. Her father's smile faltered. She's not well enough to handle decisions, he said smoothly. We acted in her best interest. Margaret crossed her arms. That's not what she told me yesterday. Murmurs rippled through the guests. She's perfectly lucid and furious. All eyes turned toward Anna. Her mother stepped forward, voice tight. Margaret, this is my birthday. Let's not cause a scene. A low voice spoke from the back. Actually, said Harold Jennings, stepping forward, this conversation is long overdue. He placed his briefcase on the table and opened it with deliberate calm. Good afternoon. I'm Harold Jennings, legal representative of Eleanor Whitmore. Gasps spread through the room. Anna's father turned pale. My mother has an attorney? Harold's gaze was steady. She's had one for 30 years. He pulled out a folder. Mrs. Whitmore asked me to address some urgent matters today in front of her family. The silence deepened. Let's begin with property ownership, Harold said evenly. This house. He lifted the deed for everyone to see. As you can all read, this property remains under the name Eleanor Whitmore. There was never a transfer. Your parents have been living here rent-free by her kindness, not ownership. Whispers erupted. Anna's father's face drained of color. That's ridiculous, he said, voice cracking. Mother gave us this house. Harold shook his head. She allowed you to live here. You assumed it was yours. The tension snapped. You're lying, her mother shouted, but no one looked at her. Mr. Harrison, Daniel's father, stepped back, whispering something to his son. The air in the room turned icy. Harold continued, calm and precise. Eleanor has also created a trust 5 years ago to protect her most valuable assets in case of financial misconduct. That includes this house, her accounts, and her 1892 Steinway piano, which was recently sold without permission. He turned toward Anna. As of that document's creation, the sole beneficiary of that trust is Miss Anna Carter. The room erupted. Megan gasped. What? Her mother's voice broke. You can't do this. Harold's voice cut through the chaos. The decision was Eleanor's. Not mine. Not yours. He paused. You owe the trust $95,000 within 30 days. Her father staggered backward. We don't have that money. Then I suggest, Harold said dryly, you liquidate the vehicle purchased with it. The Mercedes outside should cover most of it. Megan's face turned red. My car. You can't. You'll find, Harold replied calmly, that trust law can. Daniel stepped away from her, his father shaking his head in disgust. I won't do business with a man who steals from his mother, Mr. Harrison said coldly to Anna's father. The words landed like a final blow. The empire her father built on borrowed prestige was collapsing before everyone's eyes. Her father pointed at Anna, rage twisting his face. You did this. You poisoned her against us. Anna stood still, her voice steady. No, Dad. Grandma made these decisions long before I knew anything. Her mother's voice rose, trembling with fury. You've always been jealous, Anna. This is your revenge. Anna met her gaze. Revenge? I didn't sell Grandma's piano. I didn't lie. And I didn't threaten anyone for telling the truth. She turned toward the guests, her voice breaking but firm. I just wanted honesty. Something this family has never given me. The room was silent. No one dared to speak. Aunt Margaret stepped beside Anna, her voice soft but strong. Eleanor knew what she was doing. This isn't revenge. It's justice. Harold nodded. Well said. He turned to Anna's father. Mr. Carter, your tenancy in this house is now formalized under a lease. Rent will be minimal but legally binding. You have 12 months after Eleanor's passing to vacate. Her mother let out a strangled sob. Megan stood frozen, still clutching her keys. The silence that followed was heavy, final. When Harold gathered his papers, the party was over. No cake, no laughter, just broken pride and the echo of consequences. When most guests had left, Harold approached Anna. Your grandmother wanted you to decide how to handle them, he said gently. Eviction or mercy? Anna looked at her parents, hollow-eyed and trembling. They can stay, she said quietly. For now. 90 days to return the money. 12 months after Grandma passes to move. I don't want revenge. I just want peace. Harold studied her for a moment, then nodded. Eleanor will be proud. Anna smiled weakly. She already is. Outside, Megan sat by the Mercedes sobbing. The red ribbon fluttered in the wind like a flag of defeat. That night, Anna received a video call from the hospice. Grandma's face appeared, pale but peaceful. "Hi, brave girl," she whispered. "How do you feel?" Anna wiped her tears. Terrified. Relieved. Eleanor smiled faintly. "That's how courage feels. It's never comfortable." "I didn't throw them out," Anna said. "I gave them time." "I know," Eleanor said softly. You're kinder than they deserve. That's why I trusted you. Anna pressed her hand to the screen. Thank you, Grandma. Don't thank me, darling, Eleanor whispered. Just live well. Be happy. That's the real inheritance. 3 weeks later, Grandma passed peacefully, her hand in Anna's. The funeral was simple, just as she'd wanted. Music, flowers, and sincerity. Anna played a soft nocturne on the old church piano. Her parents sat at the back, silent and broken. Megan didn't come. When the service ended, Aunt Margaret hugged her. You did the right thing, sweetheart, she said. Anna nodded, though tears streamed down her face. That night she returned to Grandma's house. It was quiet now, but it felt like home. She whispered, I kept my promise, and for the first time she truly believed it. Months passed. Anna used part of the recovered money to buy a new piano. A sleek black Yamaha Grand that fit perfectly in the corner where the Steinway once stood. It wasn't the same, but when she played, the room came alive again. Her music school grew. Students adored her. Every note felt like a conversation with Grandma, every melody a tribute. Her parents eventually moved to a small apartment across town. They didn't speak to her again, but Anna didn't need their approval anymore. She had peace, her music, and her independence. That was enough. 8 months later, her phone rang. Megan. Anna hesitated before answering. Hey, Megan's voice was small. I'm not calling to ask for anything. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Anna didn't speak, letting her continue. I've been working, saving. No car, no fancy things. Just learning. I see now how wrong we were. How spoiled I was. Her voice cracked. Grandma was right about everything. Anna took a slow breath. I believe you, Megan. Change takes time. Megan sniffled. Maybe one day we can talk again? Maybe, Anna said softly. When we both understand what family really means. A year later, the house was filled with music again. Sunlight poured through the curtains as Anna played Chopin, the same piece Grandma had once performed. The air smelled faintly of lavender from the garden outside. A photo of Eleanor sat on the piano, smiling. I'm doing okay, Grandma, Anna whispered. Better than okay. She closed the piano lid and looked out the window at the glowing horizon. She didn't have the old Steinway. She didn't have her parents' approval. But she had something far greater. Herself, her freedom, and the peace of knowing she had honored the truth. And that was her real inheritance.